Settle in and let the noise of the world fade away. Tonight we journey into a past you were never taught, a story hidden beneath the very soil of America. We are told the land was empty, a pristine wilderness waiting to be tamed. A vast, silent continent of endless forests and plains. But the land remembers what we forgot. It holds a different story, one of immense cities, sprawling civilizations, and a world lost to time. What if I told you that the New World was, in fact, an ancient one? And the wilderness the first settlers saw was not a beginning, but an end? A hauntingly beautiful post-apocalyptic landscape. The story begins not with ships crossing the ocean, but with a whisper of disease, a silent wave moving faster than any explorer. It swept through the Americas, claiming up to 90% of the population before most Europeans ever set foot on the continent. The bustling societies collapsed. The meticulously managed fields and forests were left untended, and over decades, nature reclaimed them. The untouched wilderness that became a cornerstone of American identity was, in reality, a garden of ghosts, the overgrown ruins of a fallen world. The silence wasn't emptiness. It was the quiet aftermath of a catastrophe. The land remembers, and tonight we will listen. Imagine traveling back 1,000 years, not to medieval London or Paris, but to the heart of North America, near modern-day St. Louis. As you approach through the vast river lowlands, a city rises from the earth. This is Cahokia, the city of the sun. Under the pale light of a harvest moon, its great earthen pyramids rise from the mist, silent sentinels of a bustling metropolis. The central mound, a terraced giant larger at its base than the Great Pyramid of Giza, dominates the skyline. From its summit, a ruler priest would greet the dawn, looking out over a city of tens of thousands. This was no simple village. It was a planned city, a sprawling urban center with distinct neighborhoods for artisans, farmers, and elites. Wide plazas pulsed with the energy of markets, where goods arrived from across the continent, gleaming copper from the Great Lakes, shimmering shells from the Gulf of Mexico. The air hums with the sound of 1,000 voices, the smell of wood smoke and cooking fires mingling with the sweet scent of river reeds. This was a center of culture, power, and faith, its influence stretching for hundreds of miles. Its people were astronomers, engineers, and artists. And then, centuries before Columbus, it slowly emptied, its people dispersing, leaving behind only their monumental earthworks as a testament to the civilization that thrived, a whisper of the life that was. The land remembers their greatness. For a long time we thought Cahokia was an anomaly, a singular peak of civilization in a sea of scattered tribes. But deep within the Amazon, a place we once considered the epitome of untamed nature, new discoveries are rewriting that story. Just recently, using technology that can see through the dense forest canopy, we found something extraordinary. A vast network of ancient cities, hidden for centuries beneath the trees. These were not small settlements. They were urban landscapes connected by wide, straight causeways stretching for miles, with canals, plazas, and pyramids of their own. For more than 2,000 years, complex societies flourished here, managing the forest and the soil with incredible sophistication. They built raised fields to farm the floodplain and cultivated vast orchards of fruit and nut trees. The very soil they created, the rich black earth known as terra preta, so fertile that it's still sought after today. This wasn't a world of people simply living in the jungle. It was a world of people who built the jungle. They engineered their environment on a massive scale, creating a thriving, sustainable home for millions. Like Cahokia, these cities eventually fell silent, swallowed by the relentless green of the forest, their memory waiting to be rediscovered. The land remembers the hands that shaped it. The genius of these lost civilizations wasn't just in building cities, it was in how they shaped the very world around them.
Nice.
They didn't just live off the land, they sculpted it. The rolling park-like forests that early Europeans admired, so perfect for hunting, were not a gift of nature, they were man-made. Native peoples used controlled low-intensity fires to clear underbrush, promoting the growth of grasses that attracted deer and bison. They created vast managed hunting parks that, to an unknowing eye, looked completely natural. It was an act of ecological engineering so subtle and so successful that its architects became invisible. And perhaps their most profound achievement is something many of us eat every day: maize, or corn. Wild maize was just a scrawny grass, its ears barely an inch long, offering little sustenance. Over thousands of years of patient, deliberate cultivation and genetic selection, these ancient farmers transformed it. They bred it for larger kernels, for greater yield, for resilience. They turned a nearly useless plant into a superfood that fueled the rise of empires from Cahokia to the Andes and would eventually spread to feed the entire globe. But this wasn't just farming. It was a feat of biological engineering that changed the course of human history. They didn't find their world, they made it. The land remembers their wisdom. So as we drift now into stillness, let these stories settle. The American landscape is not a blank slate, but a manuscript, written and rewritten over millennia. The rustle of wind through the pines might be the echo of a forgotten language. The gentle slope of a hill might be the remnant of a great mound, its purpose lost to time. The stars overhead are the same stars that guided the astronomers of Cahokia. The soil beneath us is a living archive, holding the memory of civilizations that rose, flourished, and faded into the earth. The story of America is not just a tale of pioneers and wilderness, it's a deeper, older, and more complex narrative. It's a story of resilience, ingenuity, in a world that was lost but is now slowly being found again. The land remembers what we forgot, and in its memory, we find a richer, truer understanding of our own past. Let this knowledge be a source of wonder, a quiet reminder of the deep and layered history all around us. Next, waiting in the stillness of the night, sleep well and dream of the worlds that were. Thank you for listening.